Hello there, everybody, and welcome to All Talk No Clothes, the podcast by Unveiled Appeal that talks about all things body confidence, normalising nudity, and naturism. My name is Ryan, and each week I hope to bring you fabulous and inspiring guests, and hopefully even better discussions. Although this week, or this month, shall I say, it's not the case. I am on my own for this episode. I have said that on all of our platforms this month, and I can't lie to you, listener or viewer. I am a bit nervous because it's basically just going to be me talking for the next 30, 45, 50 minutes roughly, maybe even an hour, who knows. And it's basically going to be me talking. No segments, no guests, nada, just me. This is All Talk No Clothes, and Ryan's been left to his own devices. What could possibly go wrong, listener or viewer? If you're not around here, my name is Ryan. I am the creator and founder of Unveiled Appeal, which is an online campaign and community talking all things body confidence, normalising nudity, and naturism. I recently started this podcast called All Talk No Clothes. At the end of 2024, I think I definitely recorded the first episode around October time with the lovely Kyra, also known as Positive Coconuts. And this is officially episode 2. So I'm excited to bring it to you. I don't rehearse these. I have never rehearsed anything like this. So I've got no idea what's going to come out of my mouth, which is scary. I've written down some points. I've written down the topic that I wish to talk about today. And we're just going to see what comes of it. If you do find this, I wouldn't say enjoyable. I won't overhype myself too much. If you find this episode somewhat enjoyable and you're watching me on YouTube, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share it around to your friends if they're looking for some body confidence inspiration, if they're a naturist or want to get into naturism. Share it across, and the more people we get to view it, the better. If you're listening to me on podcast platforms such as Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I do have the comments turned on, or I should have the comments turned on. Please let us know what you think about especially the first episode with Kyra, because that's going to be a better episode than this, I feel. Let us know what you think about the show. Let us know what we could do better. Leave us some constructive criticism if you do have some criticism. And let's get into this month's episode. I am currently recording this on the 28th of February 2025. Yes, I cannot believe we're at the end of February already, but this is when I'm recording this. It's also going to go out on the same day. So, if you're watching this on the YouTubes, I'm waving at you. Hello. I just recorded this a few hours ago, and I hope you enjoy it. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, hello, dear listener. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hitting the play button. I really appreciate it. And you will enjoy other episodes that I've got planned, I am sure. I just don't give myself high hopes for this one. But without further ado, let's get into it. And let's discuss the topic that I want to talk about today. I would usually say at this point, coming up on this episode, but it's just myself. So, can I really do the coming up on this episode when I don't know what's coming up in this episode? Nah, probably not. Let's jump straight into it. If you're watching on YouTube, I would have edited this bit to a jump cut to something interesting. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can't get a jump cut, so you've just got me rambling on at this bit. I know, it's brilliant, right? So, the topic that I want to talk about today, I'm just sorry for rambling, folks. The topic that I want to discuss today is disability and naturism. Including everybody is the little added on title bit that I put on this. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Disability and naturism, and including all bodies, because that is something that I'm really passionate about. Why am I passionate about it? I hear you ask to yourself as you're walking along, going about your day listening to this podcast, or if you're watching on YouTube. Hello. Why I'm so passionate about this project is put my teeth in. Why am I so passionate about this topic? Well, I call myself a nudie because I like being naked, and I don't know whether to call myself a nudist, naturist, so I go right down the middle and I call myself a nudie. And also, for almost 3 decades, I've been physically disabled. I was born with cerebral palsy, and I was also born with a brain disorder called polymicrogyria, which hence the stutter sometimes. And I never ever let that stop me. I worked 3 jobs, I drove an adapted car. Yes, I passed my driving test. I passed my driving test at 18. And I was lucky enough with my family to travel around the world. I've been to Egypt, I've been to Spain loads of times, I've been to the Netherlands. Now, the Netherlands have got wheelchair access sorted, and I might come on it. I might talk about that later. But they've got it sussed. And I've been lucky enough to travel around the world, and basically, being physically disabled hasn't really impacted me. I have lived my life to the full, I've done everything that I can, and I've enjoyed myself. In 2016, I was given injections into my hamstring muscles in the back of my legs that went wrong, and now my hamstrings have contracted and my legs are constantly bent and in a very awkward position. So now if you see me, hence I'm in a power chair, I'm no longer able to drive, etc, etc. If you're watching on YouTube, I will put a before and after picture on the screen now. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, I am showing the people who are watching on YouTube a picture of me before my injections in 2016 and after my injections in 2016. I had 1 set of injections, and that's what happened to me. So, from personal and life experience of being disabled my entire life and being injured since 2016, I thought I could give my 2 pence worth on this topic, and it might be interesting to some of you lovely folk. So, disability and naturism, including everybody, is the name of this episode. Now, why is this important to talk about? Because I read somewhere recently that 15% of the world's population have a disability or medical condition. And 15% of the world's population is a lot of people. And as we would like to get more and more people involved in naturism, as we want people to feel the benefits of naturism, and as we want people to feel confident and amazing in their own skin, we need to think about how we open up naturism to people with disabilities and or medical conditions who may have mobility issues, who may be physically impaired, or maybe they have a hidden disability. All this needs to be taken into account at things like events, resorts, etc., etc. So it's important that we talk about this. And as someone who's physically disabled myself, I feel that I can talk about this from the perspective of being a nudie or naturist and being physically disabled, and what I found in my many years of trying to get involved in advocating for naturism and talking about it and all of that stuff. So it is very important, I think, to talk about this, and it's very important for organisations and event hosts to think about this in the future, so it opens up events and resorts for everybody. Because personally, I find it hard to attend events or resorts personally myself, because there's a lot of factors that I've got to take into account when planning an event or activity. Now, I have care assistants who help me 4 times a day, and I also have a care assistant who can take me, not take me out, but like can assist me to attend social outings and can help me go to the shops or go down the high street or things like that. So if I want to personally, if I wanted to attend a naturist event, first of all, it would be awkward for me now, because I have so many carers, and approaching the topic of naturism and attending a naturist event would be a bit of a long conversation. However, hypothetically, if I had the conversation and my assistants were happy for me to attend a naturist event, and they were happy to assist me to go to a naturist event, then there's a lot of factors I need to consider. First of all, is it at a time that I can attend and then be back home to in time for my care assistants to put me back to bed? Or is it at a time where I can get there with my care assistant, spend some time there, take part, and then is there enough time for me to get back before my other carers are here to help me with my personal care? And then if I do find an event at a reasonable, not a reasonable time, that's the wrong word. If I do find an event at an appropriate time that I can maybe attend, the next thing I've got to think about is, where is it? How would I get there? And then, is the venue that is being held in accessible? Can I get in the main entrance? Is there a step? In the venue, can I use the facilities? Does it have a disabled toilet or restroom? Is it nice and easy to get around in my wheelchair? Is it off the beaten track? Is it easy to get to? All these things I've got to factor in. And then obviously cost, and there's many other factors I've got to take into account. Now, I've written down here, I also want to talk about the common misconceptions about disabled people and body confidence. Now, I know some people that are very body confident. Myself, right? I say I don't care about my body, but everybody has their own hang-ups, right? But in terms of being naked, and I have no issue with that whatsoever, right? I am confident in that way, right? And I'm confident to talk about being naked and naturism and non-sexual nudity and normalising nudity and everything, right? The difficulty for some people with disabilities is they mainly focus on what their bodies can't do instead of focusing on what the positives and what their bodies can do. And maybe I should do a campaign on this on Unveiled Appeal or something where we get everybody to think about the positives of their body, whether they have a disability or not, and they think about what their bodies can do, what they like about their bodies, the positives about their bodies. Maybe we should do a campaign on that where we all get involved. Maybe Unveiled Appeal could do some collaborations with some other organisations or other campaigners, and we could just spread a lot of positivity. So maybe we could do that as well. Another point that I wish to talk about is, if someone like me has many factors to think about, like my care, my disability, my wheelchair access, getting to places, having assistance when I'm there, means some events I could never attend, whether it be on a beach or maybe it's at a resort that's inaccessible. I would never be able to attend a skinny dip or a swim because I need assistance when I'm in the water. So, and things like Nude Fest, I would never be able to go to British Naturism's Nude Fest because I can't travel long distances because I need to be back for my carers, and I want to be a part of it, and I want to get a feel for the atmosphere and see what it's like, and possibly get involved somehow. But it's always somewhere in England. It's miles away from me. I'm from Scotland, so most naturist events are kind of away from me, if that makes sense. And most of that is being disabled and requiring assistance to do things. And I think there is an opportunity for event organisers and event hosts to kind of do a hybrid event. And what I mean is, so it is an in-person event mainly, but there could also be a virtual side of it at the same time. So there could be a chance where it could be like a live stream kind of thing, where we're seeing the entertainment at the same time. We can talk in the live stream to other naturists, or yeah, I like that song, or yeah, that activity looked fun, or oh, the weather's nice down in Nudefest, or it's raining. I hope everybody packed an umbrella. Like, you get the idea. Or it could be an in-person event, but there could be people on a Zoom call and we're able to chat to people that are at the event, or we're able to see what's going on, or I'm unsure, but I think, I mean, British Naturism have got a brilliant idea in the winter where they have virtual events, but I believe we could open up the virtual events to have a bigger and more fuller calendar that can go hand in hand with in-person events like Nudefest, like Everybody Festival. Maybe there could be a hand-in-hand thing where there could be a virtual and an in-person event. I don't know. I kind of like watching like YouTube videos, information videos, like Naked Wanderings, because I do want to experience these things, and I class myself as a naturist, or a nudie as I call myself. I've always seen myself as one. I've always liked being nude when I can, and enjoying life as nature intended. We were born naked, so enjoy it. And I wish I did more before I was physically injured and I needed carers most of the time. Like, I don't need carers all the time. I get carers 4 times a day, but it's very hard to, like. So after about 8:30 in the evening, I can't go out past that because I need to be in bed because I don't have assistance after that. So it's very hard for me to find an event that's outside my care times that I can have someone to assist me to attend and that it's accessible, and that I can get to. Like, we need to think about access to these things for people with disabilities. Like, there'll be many disabled naturists on this or whatnot who love the naturist way of thinking, who 100% believe they are a naturist, but we've never gotten to know them. We've never known that they're out there because they might find it hard to attend an event in person, or they might find it hard to go to a resort and experience naturism like someone normally would. I don't know how best to say it, but I believe we can do a lot more. I also believe, and this is all this is my opinion, by the way, because I've not really got anybody to bounce this off of. So if I'm not really making sense, I'm sorry, but hopefully some of what I'm saying is making sense to you. I also believe that events and resorts must think about access for people with disabilities and medical conditions and hidden disabilities, and think about, is this event easy for someone in a wheelchair to attend? Is it easy for someone with a walking stick to attend? Even councils and organisations that monitor naturist beaches. We need more pathways. We need more accessible nature walks. We need accessible naturist beaches. That's easy to get around if someone's got a mobility aid or a wheelchair. And all this stuff we need to focus on a bit more, because yeah, okay, we might not get many people attending who are physically disabled, or who are disabled or have a medical condition, but in case there is, think about, if someone was to attend this event in a wheelchair, would they be able to get in this building? Is there a disabled toilet or a restroom? Is the table can a chair be pulled away to let them in at a table? Take part in a pub quiz? All this stuff you've got to think about. And the reason I wanted to do this episode is to try and highlight this, and to try and involve naturists who happen to have a disability or medical condition to be involved in advocating for naturism, for discussing naturism, to meet fellow naturists, and not just on social media and things like that. There needs to be more to help people feel more included. I think that is the be all and end all for this. Everybody needs to feel included, and I feel as a nudie or naturist that was born with a disability and now has injured legs from 2016, I feel that we need to do more to open things up to naturists who happen to have disabilities, and I feel that there is a gap there for a full calendar of virtual naturist events, but also, as I said before, we could maybe think about including more of this hybrid event, as I would call it. Of it's an in-person event, but there's also a virtual aspect of it that people who can't attend can see what's going on, can hear the entertainment, can hear the people speaking, can see what's going on, can maybe give input at some point. I don't know. All these are ideas that I've been thinking about, and I took this episode, and I'm taking this episode as me being on my own, and I don't have a guest to talk about this because, as I say, I feel that I'm in a pretty good place to do it. So the big tips that I want people to think about is accessibility in naturist spaces, and even if you have nobody attending who may be disabled, still when you're organising the event or the space, think about accessibility, think about the venue, think about where you're holding it. Is the doors wide enough? Is there steps? Is there toilet facilities for disabled people? Is there access to the facilities? All this stuff I want people to think about. Is there a big ask for more virtual or hybrid events, as I've been highlighting before? If so, let's think about how we do it. Organisations and people, we need to think about a way of involving naturists who have a disability so that they don't feel alone, they don't feel that they're outside of naturism. They are welcome. They should be included. How do we include them? Is it a virtual event? Is it a hybrid event? Or do we make an event? I can never say this word. Specifically for people with disabilities. Who knows? It's just a lot to think about. I'm literally shooting from the hip here because I've not planned any of this. And we really need to focus on kind of helping disabled people not just access naturism, but also the benefits of naturism, and making them feel good about their bodies and what their bodies can do, what their bodies can feel like. And as a disabled person myself, the reason I love being nude is because when I get dressed and I'm in my wheelchair, some of my outfit doesn't sit right. It may be twisted, it may be folded, it may be rolled up, it may be chafing me, it may be irritating me, I might be too hot, etc, etc. So there'll be a lot of disabled people who will like the idea of naturism because of the freedom it gives people and that side of things. It also might help people accept who they are if we talk about naturism and all the benefits and whatever that we all talk about. It may help people accept their bodies and accept their situations a bit more, which could also lead to better body confidence. All of this stuff, we could open it up and we could really think about including everybody in naturism and everything that we talk about and the positivity that we spread. And all in all, it could just make the world a happy and a better place. And in naturism, we advocate for, or we promote rather, body acceptance and all bodies are amazing. You should love the skin you're in, no matter what. Forget about the perfect body brainwashing. Forget about what the big fashion brands tell you. Forget about what the beauty brands tell you. And that should also include disabled people. We should be welcoming them and involving them in these conversations and these events, because being naked is very freeing for me as a disabled person, as I've touched on a minute ago, because getting dressed can be painful for me because of my legs and my pain. Even putting a pair of socks on can be difficult for me. So it may be the same for other people, that they can have fun, meet people, but also be comfortable in the nude and feel accepted and welcomed into many naturist groups and resorts. So my top 5 tips for steps towards greater inclusivity for naturists with disabilities would be thinking about access to in-person events. Is it going to be easy for somebody to attend? Is there a disabled toilet or restroom? Is it easy for someone with a disability to get involved? You can also think about sensory friendly environments. Are we playing music? Is the music loud? Is the lighting too bright? Is it too dark? Is having so many people in one room a bit noisy? There's a lot of things, and I believe if we think about this more, if I talk about this more, maybe I could further educate organisations, event hosts, resort owners on how to adapt what they do to welcome naturists or people who want to experience a naturist event or naturist resort, and how to make it accessible and easy. I would also say that able-bodied naturists or ambulant naturists could be our allies in helping us have events and resorts that are more accessible. Maybe if you work at a resort or you work at an event, maybe go round your event and think about it. If you were someone who uses a wheelchair or a walking aid, and think, is this path accessible? Could it be smoother? Is our doors nice and wide? Is there obstacles or obstructions right next to a door? Is there a step? Could we buy a portable ramp in case someone wants to attend a wheelchair and we can put it over a step? All these things I feel that we can think about, and then that also would encourage. I feel that if we do this, not only will it bring to the attention to disabled people that naturism can welcome them and they can be involved, and they can maybe find a space where they feel comfortable and to meet people and to be part of activities and stuff. It can also encourage them to get out more, to become more confident, even enhance their social skills. And naturism could be like a comfort zone for them, hopefully. And I feel that we could do that if we talk about disability and naturism more. And as I said, event hosts, organisations and resort owners should think about how to create a more inclusive environment. Should we hold more virtual events? Is this space accessible? If it's not accessible, then should we make it a virtual event for people with disabilities who can't attend in person, as well as making it an in-person event for those who can attend in person? There's a lot to think about, because I certainly promote a mindset that all bodies are amazing and are worthy and they're naturally beautiful, and I feel that most of us do. and that you should love the skin you're in and be the person you are and embrace the person that you are. Never change for nobody unless it's for yourself. And I believe that we should open this amazing thing that we call Naturism up to as many people as possible, and that shouldn't include people with disabilities. So, if you are watching on the YouTube, I know I've not been the most engaging because I've been trying to get all this out there and thinking about what I'm trying to say. But if you are watching on YouTube, I thank you, I appreciate you. Let me know in the comments your thoughts about this. Or if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and I have the comments turned on those platforms, let me know what you think under this episode about disability and naturism. What would you like to see? What do you think that we could do as a virtual hybrid event, something that you'd be interested in? Is there many more disabled naturists out there? Am I a rare breed? Let me know. You can also find All Talk No Clothes on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X. We are at All Talk No Clothes Podcast on Instagram. We are at All Talk No Clothes on Blue Sky, and we're at Unveiled All Talk on X. If you are listening to this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, thank you so much for listening. I really hope you get some